He's just right there.
Oh, it's so windy.
Hobbling with the king.
Oh, that's not one of the runners, is it?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
Really?
that's him.
How do you know?
Oh, we've been doing a documentary on him the whole way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be coming in with a crowd or something?
Pardon?
He's not coming in with like a group of people?
No, not until we get to like Pickering, Scarborough, and then more people will be joining him.
Oh, okay. You're doing a documentary?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't talk on.
No, that's okay. On this part, we're not gonna have sound. We'll put music over the part.
I expected like a big play.
Oh yeah?
George. The torch of life. Hand to you. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Right. It's all yours. Thank you. Inspiring, to say the least. Well, we're trying to do the best we can. We're hoping we might be able to persuade the other council members, as well as the MP and the MPP, to support Bill C-605. That'll bring comprehensive care to sickle cell. That's where we got a lot of money. Definitely. Have you done transplant yourself? Yes, I did. Liver transplant. So bone marrow transplant can help save people suffering with sickle cell as well. So you're accomplishing how long on average? Yeah. Probably it'll be 500 right now. They won't be there. Well, all the best. I don't know what more I can say. Fabulous. Very tremendously inspiring. Thank you. Oh, we're on our way to see Mayor Coombs. Mark Coombs and Crammy? Yes. Very good. Yeah. And I guess I'm just going to stop for a few minutes and maybe grab a coffee before we head out. Unless the reporter wanted to say a few words or something. No, here's Ray. It's another fellow. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. We can. Sorry?
Can you do it with words?
Sure.
Or just talk to each other?
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we're trying to do the stuff for put coffee on? Yeah, just for 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to head out. Oh, okay, perfect. So the mayor's going to join us for a coffee. Oh, beautiful. Is that okay?
I love that.
That's
my treat.
Least I can do. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we can talk they wanted to join us. I don't know if they're riding. Are you guys riding anything? Or just picture?
I'd like to, yeah.
Ray, you got Ray?
Thank you.
Ray, we're going to go for a quick coffee. You guys want to join us?
Where are you going?
Oh, let's just go up on Main Street.
Can I just talk to him for a couple minutes
Sure,
before
sure.
we just inside here?
Okay.
It just take me a second,
Okay.
really, because I have to get off to another thing, but I don't know where you.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Or is it all right to just go inside the doors?
Yeah,
so
it's
a
a little
bit
cool.
less
Yeah.
windy?
Yeah. Is that the one?
But you'll be in Coburg tonight, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
there's
cold
lots
now.
there.
It's cold
Yeah, I know.
There's Walmart.
Wanted to know
there's
where
Zellers.
something
Oh,
along the
around
way.
on the way.
His feet are cold now.
Oh.
So is there somewhere that I can find
Jeez, yeah.
more stuff online?
We've got a bargain store in town. Oh, okay. I might pop in there.
I was
Yeah,
just
they
thinking
just-
I might have some socks in my car.
Oh, no, it's okay. I got some. The thing is, I got those thick socks, but
Yeah, I thought I
it just
had
keeps
them.
going right through this
Yeah, really.
because of the wind, too.
Yeah, you're gonna face the wind. So.
Yeah.
So what's your name again?
George is the first name.
George?
Cello,
How do you spell that? Is it
M-A-R-C-E-L-L-O.
M-A-R-C-E-L-L-O?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when did you start your walk?
February 1st in Ottawa.
February 1st in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And you're planning to go
Finish in Toronto on the 17th.
February 17th in Toronto.
Yeah.
So what's the main purpose of your walk?
We're trying to bring comprehensive care to sickle cell disease,
Okay.
and that could be done if Bill C-605, that was tabled by MP Kirsty Duncan about a month and a half ago in Parliament Hill, if that gets passed, we will have comprehensive care. So in other words, sickle cell disease has been recognized as a legitimate disease in Canada,
Okay.
and it's afflicted tens of thousands of people. And they can't even wear a bracelet because there isn't no bracelet. Like there's bracelet, like show me your thing for he's a diabetic.
Okay.
So if ever something happens to him, you know, he's going to get care.
It's written right on the back what I need, what type of insulin.
Yeah.
What's the bill again? Bill C
The Bill C-605.
605,
Yeah.
which was tabled in.
Ottawa,
in-
Parliament Hill
Okay.
in December.
In December. Okay.
Yeah, just before the House departed.
So you're stopping in towns and meeting with mayors?
Mayors, because that's what we believe is going to be the soul of our, you know, the municipality is the soul of the community.
Yeah.
And through the mayors, we're developing a lot of, we're, you know, by getting the mayors on board, we're getting the MPs and the MPs on board. And by the way, there's the Roma conference. Oh, perfect, because Mayor Dennis Staples is bringing this issue there. And he's going to have a chat with Deborah Matthews as well. So, and you know, so we're trying to get everybody to just to recognize this as a legitimate disease, and you know, let's get everybody to okay that bill. All the MPs, they okay it.
Hello, Mary.
What is the bill, just in a nutshell, what is it going to?
Well, it's got a three-step procedure. The first thing it would ask is to evaluate the situation
Okay.
nationally to see where the needs are. And then once the needs are evaluated, then to start implementing the care where it's needed.
Okay.
So, and then the third step is to work with each province as a delivery system, you know, and then that'll just bring it up to par with all the other regular diseases.
Okay.
We look at this disease as the runt of the litter. It's having a hard time getting the nipple, if I may use that as an analogy. You know, all the other diseases have their nipple, and you know, of course, there could still be a lot more work done and all, but they don't even have a nipple. Like so, it's the runt, and it's got to fight to get that nipple.
Okay. So I'm assuming that you suffer from the disease yourself? No, you don't. So why are you doing this?
Good question, because I've been asked that all along.
Yeah.
I see no color in this. It's a black disease.
Okay.
I see people suffering with it just like they're suffering with diabetic, you know. So I see no color. I don't see whatever the majority of the people are suffering with. I don't see that as a barrier or any kind of thing to do with why I shouldn't get any care.
Okay.
So the theme I've been using is I see no color. You know, I'm white. Nobody in my family suffers with it.
So you don't have any friends or anything, or
not really. No.
No. Okay.
No. I just heard. I know about it and the suffering that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, as a Canadian, I want to do my part. You know, really, that's what it comes down to.
Okay. So is it something you just recently decided to take?
No, I've known this for the last couple of years because I've you know, my chairperson, Step by Step's my charity.
Okay.
We've been promoting organ and tissue donations for 14 years. And my chairperson is Constable Ojo Teobadi, who has many of his friends and families that are afflicted with sickle cell. So that's how I got introduced to it. And it's not that I personally know anybody, but because I was exposed to it and seeing the suffering and the need for it, you know, and they couldn't put this on the map. They couldn't find a way to get the profile that they needed. So Ojo asked me if we can put this on the map. So that's how we came up with this plan to do, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the going. Absolutely. You know, so we hope it's going to help bring a spark, you know, and that's it, really. Like, you know.
Okay. So you're stopping here, and then tonight you're in Coburg?
Yes.
And then tomorrow?
We're on our way to Clarington.
Okay.
And then on Monday, we're in Bowmanville Town Hall, and then after, we're ending in Oshawa City Hall, and then Pickering the next day, and then the final day, or the 16th will be Scarborough. And then the final day, we have like thousands of kids that are gonna get involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Toronto. They're gonna, like, my job is just to reach Toronto and Scarborough. And then they take over after that. You know, on the last day, they'll bring it down Yonge Street, and there's a big, you know, I think Mayor Ford's getting involved, Chief Blair.
Okay.
So, and then there'll be a child that's going to wait to receive the torch at Queen's Park.
Okay.
That'll receive the final step of it will be by a child, right? And it's symbolic because we started at Parliament Hill, where the bill's getting passed, and then ending up at Queen's Park, where that's the delivery system for the bill. You know, so it's kind of got a symbolic. That was part of the part.
Did you want to say anything there? Or
I'm listening and learning notes.
Okay.
I think he was mentioning that he might give the MP a nudge to support this.
Certainly, we're going to talk to both Mr. Norlock and to Mr. Rinaldi, who is our MVP locally.
So the MP and the MVP?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess you're going to meet the Coburg mayor tonight, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
Actually, Deputy Mayor Frost, because Mayor Brockman he got a conflict, and he didn't want to come. We actually got a little delegation coming from Toronto.
Tonight?
Yeah,
Oh.
we got about 12 people that are suffering with sickle cell, or that, you know,
really?
and they'll meet with, they're actually going to pass the torch to Deputy Mayor
That
Frost.
might be good. That's at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock.
Yeah, at the town hall.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try and get there.
If you can make it, that would be
Okay.
two stories in one day.
Well, yeah, we have two papers, so
Oh.
yeah, so that's great. Okay, and are you actually walking, or are you getting
I
run someplace?
wanted to run. I mean, here's how this happened. I was trying to recruit a black person because, you know, like that is, I thought in my mind it should be a black champion.
Yeah.
You know, and just, it seemed like there was somebody there, and then there was 10 days left, and nobody really stepped up to the plate yet. Oh. And I've done this before. Like
really?
I've done this before, and I said, well, look, we got everything set up. If nobody steps up, I'll do it, you know. But I didn't train properly, so I kind of injured a very sensitive part. Yeah. Well, before that, because I was intending on running, and then I couldn't rock. I'll walk, and then I seen the ambulance go in a ditch during the snowstorm,
Oh, dear.
and I kind of turned around and just twisted my whole ankle,
Oh, dear.
or my whole knee, and so I've been having to use this cane.
That's too bad. Okay, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to dominate. I don't
Oh,
know who
no,
else
no.
wanted to ask anything. Yeah, I should get on my way because I have to do a couple more things
Well, you
today.
did ask very good questions.
Yeah, it would be nice to meet some people with the disease too.
Well, tonight you could, if you could make it.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do that. That's
We're
great.
going to orange and group for coffee if you'd like to join us, Mary.
Sure.
I've never refused a coffee.
That's Mary Tadman. She's also a member of our municipal council.
Oh, glad to meet you.
Please meet you. I didn't
George.
catch your name.
George.
George?
How long have you been?
I'm just back on council. I
Oh.
was from 2003 to 2006.
You know, we passed through here in 2000, and I was walking across Canada at that time, and we recruited a few of your kids here from high school that joined me for about 3 weeks. One of them was one of the councilor's daughters at that time. I can't remember her name. She had black hair, long black hair.
In 2000?
It was nice meeting you.
The guy.
Yeah, so I can't remember. I'd have to look at your you know,
Yeah.
just the names escape me for some reason. But we had 3 kids that somehow got permission from the high school to join me for 3 weeks, you know.
You don't remember the kids' names?
I have to look at my videos. I should have done that before I came here because, you know, that was
That was
like,
amalgamation time, so I'm trying to think who would be,
Lou's daughter?
she wasn't in council.
No, the daughter wasn't on council. It was
the mother was the counselor, and the daughter,
Or maybe it was Lou then, and, yeah, could have been Lou Rinaldi that's now our member of parliament.
could have been. But I got videos of it.
Yeah.
And I should have looked at them before I got here.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That was before I was on council. And you were busy, Mark had 2 funeral homes before he's got involved with politics. So.
Oh, okay.
That was from business.
From business to politics. Then.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
From the dead to the living.
You've been doing this a while, eh, George?
Yeah.
Because I remember interviewing you a few years ago in a motel room in Coburg.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was working with the Independent newspaper.
This was a few years.
Yeah,
When you're saying a few years,
back.
about how long?
Yeah, had to have been 2, maybe 3 years ago, I guess.
3 years. I organized a 100-student torch relay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was.
Oh, you were,
I was
by
doing-
yourself.
Oh, I was walking for this lady that needed a liver transplant.
That's the one. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yes. She ended up getting it, by the way. I don't know.
Oh, is that
I
right?
remember the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, that was 2006, November.
Yeah. But I remember catching up with you in Coburg.
Yeah.
I don't know, one of the motels down there, wherever you stayed. But,
I was doing it alone, and I
Yeah,
had
you
taxi
were.
cabs that were taking my luggage to the next hotel,
yeah.
and that's how I was doing that. I didn't have no follow car, nothing of that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a lot better, the weather back then.
Oh, well, for sure, yeah.
So how many kilometers did you walk over here?
Oh, about 35. Well, I look at it like 35,000 kilometers. Altogether, like right from beginning.
All on foot.
All on foot, yeah. The biggest one was the one in 2000 when I went across the country. That was about like 15,000.
And what was your goal that time?
Well, we wanted, before then, we convinced Premier Harris to create a agency for organization donation, which is now called the Children's Gift of Life Network. And in 2000, what we wanted to do was a couple of things. We wanted a national agency created, which was, at that time, the Health Minister, Alan Rock, met with me in Edmonton while I was and announced that, that was getting created. And plus, I had an ambition to pass the torch to the Pope at that time, which happened as well. We ended up going to Rome, and he blessed the torch. So, you know, because I was getting a lot of questions about religion, and the Pope was very well respected in the world at that time, like all the religions. And I thought, you know, here's the guy that could be the spokesperson, and that's what we were trying to convey why we want. And he did that. When he blessed it, he, you know, said, look, you know, on behalf of Vatican City, we all support premonition. It's a genuine act of love. We encourage everybody in the world, you know. So that went a long way to kind of, you know, curb any misunderstandings.
What is your such devout compassion coming from for poor people?
Well, you ever heard of pay it forward? Yeah, I think it comes from that, you know, from the kindness of someone and generosity of someone donating a gift to me. I in turn am trying to do what I can to.
And so what was that?
A liver.
Oh, you
someone
got-
donated a liver to me.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I had like 2 days left to live. So from that day forward, I just thought it was the most incredible gift. Like, you know, someone that just lost a family member and going through all that tragedy, but yet thinking of others. And that one person was me. So I thought, how can I ever repay this? You know.
So you must be blessed all over the place by giving back.
Well, I don't
You
know.
must feel blessed.
Well, you know, but kind sometimes, not always.
No, I know that.
It's a lot. Sometimes it's really a long hill up, you know. And
Yes.
You get. Have you ever read Mother Teresa's
Yes.
book?
The biography.
You know that she swore a lot.
Yes.
So you know, so I can understand that.
And one thing that I read about her is that she fought the beliefs.
Yeah, she always like questioned her faith, you know, and she always said, "Are you really that?" Like, you know, and
But she carried on.
she carried on exactly. So I think the actions speak louder than anything else.
Well, it's really wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
I guess.
I've got my wife over there, I don't know what she's got in mind, but right now, just down to
I think we'll go
end of the bread or Lowe's or.
Where?
Yeah, we'll go to the end of this, right on Main Street.
Through it
Is the
up.
same owner still at Vito's?
Yes, do you know Frank?
I'm pretty sure because the first time we came around here, he gave us some yellow.
Well,
Yeah.
we should go to
Okay,
Vito's.
let's go see. Let's go.
What, the nipples? And so, after I received mine, that was one of the things that I kept hearing was that people just, transplants were working, you know, because
Do you want me to?
either they were tied up to a lot of machines and so.
George, you ready to drink yourself?
Coffee?
Coffee, sure.
Yeah, nice tea. What are you gonna have to drink, though?
I'll have a tea, green tea.
Okay. Green tea?
Sure.
Where's the other gentleman?
I think he went to use the washroom or something. I'm not sure.
So I thought, you know, in order to get more people to really understand about this, I was a administrator before this, so, you know, why not do something similar like the box to break that in, you know? And basically that why I decided to do that was just to show that these things.
Oh, you got your luck.
I left my son in the truck. Remember this thing? It doesn't work. Good bus.
Lunch, meat, whatever you want.
What time is it? Okay, we gotta leave by 1. Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
Do you remember when they came around?
unless you got boots on.
Well, I got one sore heel, but I wore the wrong boots the other day, so I'm not wondering if I walk. Got a big blister. Thank you. Hi, Beverly.
Mark, it might get a little bit rowdy in there. It might. The big house turn on, she gone out.
First of all, before I said I was in that Canada, I was actually looking for a torch, and I didn't know how hard it was to find, unless somebody built one, And so, I think it was a week before we started, it was delivered to us, and we didn't know where it came from to this day. And so that's the torch that you see, and on the first 2 months of carrying it, we used to stop like this, and we used to put it out, and the road team I had before used to put it on the hub of the wheel to cool off. So this time they forgot it was on there, and they started driving, and then crack. And it's funny because I think I mentioned it to these guys that it was actually in Colburn, when we were coming along Colburn, that the school came out to meet me on the highway, along with one of the teachers. And they were carrying a half a sawn torch, like it's a half a torch. And the teacher told them what happened and everything. He said, well, listen, I'm also the industrial arts teacher. Maybe I can do something in the shop. And as soon as he said those words, on the side of the road on the bag, he noticed a piece that he picked up, put it on, and it fit perfect. That bottom piece that you see on the torch has been that piece, it has never come off. And it's either, I don't know if it's a bent post or something, but it fit perfect. And so,
Like a little miracle, like.
yeah, like right here in Colburn.
Oh, there's miracles all over this place.
Thank you.
So when I brought it to the Pope, the Pope blessed it. Like I had to go through this whole rehearsal thing, like big actors, right, perfectly and everything, and I wasn't sure what he was supposed to say. All I know is that they already announced that they were going to make a proclamation that this donation was a friend of mine had brought after receiving the tour. But afterwards, he said something to me in English, because he was coming up and I tried to listen to what he said, and for over a year and a half, when I went back, I kept trying to say what he said. And so, after I finished my campaign, I didn't know what the next step was, what I was supposed to do next. And I met this young boy in Sarnia, Christopher, who was 10 at the time, and he needed a liver transplant. And when he carried that torch across Sarnia when I arrived there, and when the reporter interviewed him, they asked him, why did you carry the torch? He goes, well, I've been waiting for a liver transplant all my life to show the stomach all the stars. And he said, and I want to carry this torch across Canada. And so since then, every day he would like phone me and say, when am I going to carry the torch? I just didn't have the heart to say, and so after I finished my trial, I heard he was going to the hospital. It seemed to be very serious. And the next morning, his dad phoned and said he was all right and he wanted to speak to me. And the first words that came out of his mouth was, okay, I'm okay now and I want to carry that torch. And it was like a million light bulbs that went on, because it came very clear when the Pope said, after all this time I'm trying to piece his words, the Pope said, pass the torch to children, they will inspire the world. And it came like so clear his words at that moment. And I said, Christopher, we're going to arrange a campaign for you. And we did. His family was for it, and his school was for it. Everybody knew Christopher. He was, you know, he didn't let his disease get the better of him. And we knew he was going to do it, so I created Christopher's Wish, a 200-city tour across Canada. As a result of him going from city to city, he recruited hundreds of thousands of kids. And so, in the theme of the Pope's words, after Christopher's Wish, that's when I created the 100-student torch relay, which was in 2007, 2008. And then after that, if we can do it in Canada, and we wanted to show the world that Canadian kids can do this, then our next step was to relay the torch from Alaska to Argentina, a 36th country. And that was in 2009. And I got up to Alaska, and we actually almost had Sarah Palin light the torch when she was governor, but she stepped down. Sean Fennell, the governor, came out, and then we had a Democrat senator, Beggage, who came out together. And that was unheard of, how we were a Democrat coming together. And that kind of set the tone, but it was the kids that were carrying the torch from Wasilla, because, you know, since we were all down the road for, that's where we started. And they carried it all the way to Anchorage. So that's what inspired both of them to come there. You know. And then after that, we made our way through Canada and then the northeastern states. And I got as far as Washington when I heard they were going, tobacco was going to take my house. And you know, it's the first time I ever had to stop a campaign. And so after 5 months of doing that campaign, I had to stop in Washington. But you know where I stopped? A place called Pope John Paul II Cultural Center. Oh, really? Yeah, where all his, everything he ever owned or anything he's ever done, his whole legacy is in there. And the words, you know, the children will inspire the world were there very, very clearly. And also, these other words that really inspired me to continue with this was his legacy was to bring what I see the kids were doing, bring the Democrats and the Republicans together. So I thought, why not do a world tour where these kids can bring everybody together? And this is a major issue. So I'm actually trying to get back to Washington to start campaigning again, a world campaign. So that's sort of the next step for the torch. So that's the legacy of the torch.
Where do you reside?
Toronto.
And did you say your birth?
Yeah, barely. It's like a month-to-month ordeal. Like, you know, it's every month we figure a way out of it. But I think because of these challenges, it makes you work harder on your faith. For me, anyways. And so I think as a result of that, it strengthens your faith. So I'm even at a point now where if it has to be that the house is going to get lost, and that's part of the whole deal here, you know, and there's a clear mission to do with this torch. After all these years, you got to bring it around the world, one way or another. So I don't have an exact date when I'm going back to it, but something, again, strange happened when I heard about the girl that got tragically killed in Tucson, Christina, do you remember that? I somehow sensed that she donated her organs, even though it was never mentioned or never announced. And it was about a week later that a friend of mine sent me an article, and the announcement was made to the world that Christina Green donated her organs, and it was announced by the bishop that was doing the church ceremony. And so here's what happened. I checked out that bishop's. Background, and he's part of this conference, or this American Catholic conference, which she's the vice president, and the person that runs Pope John Paul II Culture Center is one of the directors. So what I did was I put in a call to Frank, the director, and asked him if he can contact the bishop and do something at the church service, and if they wouldn't mind asking the family, Christina's family, would we carry the torch on Christina's memory. So, you know, it's still under the Pope's legacy to have children, and in life and in death, she's going to expire. You know? So, I don't know how that's going to turn out. We just don't know how those things turn out.
But you're going on faith that it will.
Well, it's a sin not to try. Not to, you know, when something like that, you have to pursue it. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, but you have to pursue it and see where it takes you.
So back to your transplant, do you have to take special drugs for the body?
Anti-rejection drugs. Yeah. But I can assure you that almost 90, and I've seen so many, I can almost talk, we have all of them, that over 90% live an extremely healthy life, with no barriers, no, you know. And that's what, again, I wanted to show by doing that 12,000 track. You know, a liver transplant can do this. You got to believe that this is true. You know.
How successful are
Yeah, because the medication is gotten a lot better. And that was really the turning point, because the anti-rejections weren't working good. That's why, you know, that cornerstone.
How long has he had here?
Actually, he's going to be twice I got it. Yeah, in '95 I got the first one. And in 2005 I went to Europe for a fact-finding tour, because they lead the world in regulation. While I was in France, I suffered with something called thrombosis. And it's just, there's no explanation why.
Take care, have a good day. Thank you.
And so I was in a French Paris hospital, being told again that I only had months left to live, and liver transplant was going to save my life. So for some reason, I didn't think, you know, twice it was going to happen. So I said, look, I would prefer to die at home. And they wouldn't let me because they didn't want to take the chance of me going on regularly. So my brother had to come sneak me out. We got out of Italia to give us pass for some seats. And I arrived in Toronto, and a week later there was a my 50th birthday. So, I mean, you know, I'm not writing these things. I'm not, you know,
You're not making them up.
No, I'm not making them up. They're just happening. And so, in a way, it's cursed, because when they happen, it's okay. That's a signal. You got to keep going. You can't stop now.
You've had 2 chances.
Exactly. So it's like as soon as I woke up, it's like, okay, get back to work. You know, like that's really that's what I did. Like, 4 days after the transplant, I brought everything with me to Queen's Park, because I had to give them my report on the European tour. You know, and I did. Like, so I just went back to work.
So how do you support yourself through all of this?
It's hard. I almost got in a lot of trouble crossing the border in the States, because I said, look, I pray every day and hopefully get by every day. I have not had no real luck with sponsorship. Like, I've had Source for Sports to help me during my campaign, you know, but when we do these things, it takes an incredible amount of funds and resources to do them. So even the support that we get, there's still a lot to do, and so, but I just never got lucky to get, the funding that with all the things that I wanted to do. So it's literally been, every day's been like, it's like, how am I gonna get by today?
Listen, let's,
Yeah, sure.
Whatever you.
Yeah, I have to meet Lois. I got to meet her at 4:02. You said you have to leave at 1 anyway, so you have to do it.
Soup then.
It's chicken rice.
Take a bowl of chicken rice, Caesar salad small,
Okay.
and change it, just double that up.
Okay. Do you want the soup to begin with then?
I'll have the chicken rice as well, and can I get the house salad?
Sure. Like a small or
Small.
what dressing would you like? Balsamic, ranch, blue cheese, French.
No, I've already eaten.
Go.
So you won't be here tonight for Scott? That's, you know, I told him I said no. I guess Lindsay Gary.
Everything I said is on our website, step by step. All the videos, there's 5,000 of them. When we come through Brighton, all those many times that we come through Brighton, that's actually another pamphlet. But if you look at 2000 or even 99, the Ontario Walk, you'll see us when we came to videos. And videos, you'll see videos when the kids from here came with us. You'll see them as well as the counselor. Like it's all there.
And what was it again?
Stepbystep.ca.
Let's see if you-
Because there's been, the most interesting stories are like that reporter that I met,
Yeah, I'll just write down.
that saved me report.
Oh, yeah.
That happens to me so many times, because I'm going across Canada, you meet so many people, and so it would be very curious to see how those kids are doing, because they were like 17 years old, and that was back in 2000. So now they're like probably married with kids, and it'd be, you know what I mean?
Maybe we can find out who those kids were. People who might know as Helen. She was around that age. Do you have another one of those pamphlets?
I will get you one.
Well, if you have to put...
The truck's right here, I brought it over, because I forgot it.
So what time did you start it this morning? Where were you last night?
We stayed at the Comfort Inn, and yesterday, we arrived at the town hall. They got a new one, Front West. Yeah. And they gave us the whole course on making sure we say Front West or 20 West. No more train.
No more train.
Yeah. So we said, no, we'll pass it.
Yes.
Tell everybody to say 20 West.
So did you see the mayor there? John Williams?
Deputy Mayor.
Oh, deputy. Who's the deputy mayor?
That was Deputy Mayor Terry Cassidy.
Okay. So you're not stopping in Colbert, you're going right to Colbert next.
Going to Colbert next. And then tonight,
Who's going to be joining us in Coburg again?
yeah. Yeah, and driving back, but then the next day he arrives again and he's gonna come every day until he gets his permit.
Same thing we're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly, on Monday though. You guys
How long have you been?
We've been with him from Ottawa in the first day.
Yeah? Thank you. I'll give one of these to my friend that I'm meeting right now. Should be interested in this.
The only one on the paid roll this week is Shane.
Is that right? Big pay, eh, Shane?
Well, I'm his boss,
Yeah?
so I pay him. I was running the things out, check uptown, do like get a feel for it. Where's Canada? It's all going to the same area, you know, awareness.
It's gonna be an aspiring film director.
That's what we're trying. We started out doing music videos, right? And now we're trying to get into more documentaries. We're actually also doing a documentary on homelessness as well at the same time. One of our partners down there, he's actually filming it now while we're out here. So yeah, that's another project that we're working on, bringing more awareness to the situation on homelessness and how we could do something about that.
There's always
Something, you know.
people out there with a cause, you just gotta find them and they find us actually. There's three of us involved in the company. Film, editor, and promoter. So we all have our own fingers and we just let it happen. The person who has the most control of it all is the editor. He really does. He's got to make it flow, he's got to make it have its heartbeat. You have one of your cards with you?
Actually, no, I don't.
Listen, well, actually, your lunch very soon.
Yes.
Excuse myself.
And it was very nice meeting you.
Oh, you too. Really pleasure.
Thank you.
Again,
Pleasure's ours.
this is inspiring.
Appreciate the hospitality as well.
Yeah, well,
I expect you to eat. That's not like coffee.
Yeah, we will.
I think you people should be very proud of yourselves for your girls. You're the very best.
It only gets bigger.
That's right.
It only gets bigger. Oh.
This one's kind of folded up, but yeah.
Okay, you need that one? I'm gonna hang on to it.
Hang on to that one.
Okay. Good luck,
Nice meeting you,
man.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And seriously, if there's more that you want, please. It's all help yourself.
We appreciate it. On my website, you can see all my contact information. It's right at the top.
Okay. I'll check that tonight when I get home. Thanks a lot, Mark. Sean?
Shane.
Shane. Nice seeing you. Why not your camera over? These things just baffle me totally. All I know how to do is click. After that, I'm lost. Bye-bye.
Another cool idea. That's what this is me. Good stuff.